Hello, and today's learning target is I can approximate real numbers on a number line. Let's approximate the following numbers on the number line. Let's look at the first example. So I have quite a bit of numbers here. 10, or 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 that I need to number on the number line. Well, let's simplify these as much as we can. Negative square root of 17, that's between the square root of 16 and the square root of 25, which means that this would be between 4 and 5 on the number line, and it actually is negative, so between negative 4 and negative 5. However, negative square root of 17 is closer definitely to negative square root of 16, so it's going to be just right after negative 4. It's going to be really close to it. So I'm going to say negative, there we go. Looks kind of messy. Negative square root of 17. Got to fix my stylus. Okay, so that one's done. 8/3. Well, 3 goes into 8 2 times, and then we have a remainder of 2 because 2 times 3 is 6. And then my denominator is 3, so 2 2/3. So I'm going to go ahead and put 2 2/3 right about there on the number line. So that would be 8/3. I'll rewrite it back to its original form. 15/3 simplifies to 5, so I'll go put that on 5, and that's 15/3. And then negative 2/3 would be between 0 and negative 1, and that would be about right there, so negative 2/3. Can't make a 3 here on with my stylus. There we go. And I accidentally skipped negative square root of 49/16. So positive square root of 49/16 turns into the square root of, or the square root goes away, and I'll take the square root of 49, which is 7, and the square root of 16, which is 4, and get 7/4, which then we could rewrite as 1 3/4. So 1 3/4 would be about right there. So that would be the square root of 49/16. Cross that one out. Negative 1/2 would be not quite as far as negative 2/3, so I'll put that right there, and that's negative 1/2. Cross that one out. 1.7. So 1.7 and 1 3/4 is actually right here was the 1 3/4. That's 1.75. So 1.7 is just a little bit below it. So I'm going to put that right about there, and that would be 1.7. And then square root of 7, and the square root of 7 is between what? Square root of 4 and square root of 9. So it's between 2 and 3, and it's a little bit closer to the 9, square root of 9, than it is to square root of 4, just by 1. So let's call then the square root of 7 about 2.6. So if I put that on the number line, it's very close to the 8/3, and that 8/3, if you recall, was 2 2/3, which is about 2.67. So 2.6 is just very much below it, so I'm going to put that it's very close to it, and that would there be the square root of 7, so very close. So as you can see, I wrote a lot down. Thanks for staying with me. Just had to put those numbers on the number line as best we could. So again, we're approximating without using a calculator. Let's look at the second example. Okay, so we see here a couple different numbers. So 9/5, and I'll try to color coordinate this and make this a little bit more organized. 5 goes into 9 one time, and then it's 4/5. So 1 4/5. I would put that about 1 4/5 about right there. So that was 9/5. I could cross that out. Square root of 25/49, so the square root of 25 is 5, over square root of 49, which is 7, so 5/7 is not quite at 1 yet, so it's about right there, and that was the square root of 25/49. Cross that one out. Square root of 12 is between the square root of 9 and square root of 16, so between 3 and 4. and it's a little bit, it's actually right almost in between. So we could say that this would be about 3.4, almost 3.5. But let's stick with the 3.4, so that would be about right there, a little less than halfway, and that's the square root of 12. And then negative square roots of 5. Let's change colors, and that's between the square root of 1, or square root of 4, excuse me, and the square root of 9. And it's just a little bit over the square root of 4, so it's going to be about negative 2.1. So let's go here, negative 2.1, about right there. So negative square roots of 5. Cross that out. Negative 8 over 4 turns into negative 2. So right at negative 2 there, I'll go ahead and put negative 8 over 4. And then negative 20 over 4 is actually negative 5. So I'll put that right there, and that's negative 20 over 4. Negative square roots of 3, and that's between square root of 1 and square root of 4. So it's going to almost be 2, but I would say it's about 1.9. Probably not quite, 1.9, maybe closer to 1.7, right, 1.8, and that's negative. So I'll do negative 1.7 about right there. So that was negative square roots of 3. And then 2/7. 2/7 is not quite halfway yet. So 2/7 will be about right there, between 0 and 1. 2/7. And there we go. We've ordered those numbers on the number line. All right, let's take a look at this top example here, and we'll just go through one more, and we'll save the last one perhaps as a warm-up during class. So 3 over 2 here simplifies to be 1.5. So I'll go ahead and label that 1.5 about right there. So that's 3/2. 2 squared is really 4. So I'll put that right here, and that's 2 squared. 2.2 is a little over 2, so 2.2. And negative 2 is back here, so that's just negative 2. Square root of 15 is between the square root of 9, which is 3, and the square root of 16, which is 4. Or wait, no, it's between, 3 and 4. The square root of 9, square root of 9, which is 3, and the square root of 16, which is 4. And it's almost at 4, but it's not quite, so I'll call that about 3.8 or so, or 3.9, so 3.8 be about right there, and that's the square root of 15. And then negative 5.3 would be back here, negative 5.3, and 0.25 would be 1/4, which is not quite at 1, but 1/4 is about right there, so 0.25. So there we've gone ahead and went and ordered those numbers on the number line. Feel free to go ahead and get some practice with this last example, or we may leave this as a warm-up for in class, or feel free to try this example on your own. Thanks for listening. Have a great day. Please remember to not use your calculator when we're approximating numbers on a number line. Use what you know about perfect squares, your knowledge on those, and use what you know about fractions and decimals to help you order the numbers on a number line. Thank you. Bye-bye.